Twitch bans continue to make no goddamn sense. And to make things worse, they even seem to be helping certain creators raise their profile. In some scenarios, it's little more than a forced vacation that helps them in the long run. Something has clearly gone wrong. So let's talk about it. All right, before we get into it, I need to remind you all that we have merch. It's beautiful stuff, folks. We got crew necks, hoodies, t-shirts, and beautiful colors, all gaming-centric. Esports, lovely stuff. If you're interested, head to shop.thescore.com for more information. You can also click on the link in our description and follow it to our site. Alrighty, so if you didn't know, there's been a bit of a streaming war going on over the last 2 years, but recently it's hit entirely new heights. Over the last couple of years, Twitch saw a ton of its big names experiment with streaming on YouTube, and in some cases, flat out jump ship.
Tim, join me on YouTube Gaming.
Courage?
Yeah, it's me. Tim, it's time. The future is now.
Even more recently, things have been amplified tenfold, with massive streamers like Aiden Ross, Trainwrecks, and potentially more leaving to stream on the new dog in the fight, Kick. But why are so many people leaving? And why now? Well, everyone has their own reasons for leaving, from Twitch's brutal revenue splits to gambling to Andrew Tate. But one reason in particular has long been at the root of this ongoing issue: Twitch's TOS. More specifically, how Twitch's frivolous use of temporary and permanent bans not only fail to better the community, but might actually help certain streamers that receive them. But to understand how the hell this has all gone wrong, let's look at Twitch's TOS. What is its actual purpose? Well, at face value, it's a list of things that you can't do on the site. And although things have been added over time, Twitch's TOS is pretty standard for a social media platform. No nudity, no racism, no terrorism, no violating copyright laws, shit like that. And although the idealist would say that this exists to protect the viewer, above all else, these rules are in place to protect Twitch from getting sued or losing out on ad potential. Basically, they don't want to hurt their pockets. And this has been the case since Amazon bought Twitch back in 2014. But although their goal of having an advertiser-friendly platform has remained the same, how they enforce it has definitely changed. Right up to the start of the pandemic, getting suspended was a big deal since it disrupted your revenue stream, and in the ever-evolving scene that was Twitch, it could kill a growing creator. On top of that, Twitch was accused of having a bias when handing out their bans, making the qualifications for getting one seem arbitrary. Now, although both these things are still very much true, at some point things started to change and suspensions became less feared by certain creators. One major instance we can point to is the aftermath of XQC's famous Twitch Rivals ban towards the end of 2020.
Too many people here. He's literally going down.
Wait, dude, okay, this is a little bit psychotic.
Dude, no, man. No. This is bad. This is bad for us. Bro.
Come on, lucky man.
I'm gonna put you in emo lonely mode.
This is a bad idea, bro. I don't think he realizes how big of a mistake he's making.
And he's still.
Wait, he is doing it! Wait, he did it! It got him up! Wait,
It's tied, right?
Well,
who has more kudos? Who's more kudos?
wait, do we just watch that happen?
Yes, for those who have forgotten, XQC was banned for stream sniping during the Jelly Bean game. And at the time, it actually caused a fair bit of controversy. And for that lapse in judgment, X was slapped with a 7-day ban. But it ended up not being that big of a deal in the long run. You see, before the ban, XQC had been averaging about 40 to 60,000 viewers per stream. But his first stream back cracked 100K, making it his most successful stream in over 6 months. If this ban was supposed to deter XQC from breaking any more of Twitch's rules by negatively affecting his streams, his return to the platform suggests it failed to do that. The same thing happened to Aiden Ross after he was banned for using a slur on stream last April. Before that, he was averaging about 40,000 viewers per stream. But once again, his first stream back hit over 100K viewers, and it was his biggest stream of the year at that time. And listen, there are plenty of smaller instances of streamers seemingly benefiting from getting a suspension, at least from a metrics standpoint. In this current era of big streamers constantly pushing the envelope, it seems like they're almost incentivized to increase their notoriety, even if it results in a ban. You can almost play it like a game. Push the envelope, come back bigger, rinse and repeat. However, things are obviously much more complicated than that, and a ton of smaller streamers still suffer from getting suspensions. and there's one big reason for why that is. Whether the behavior is intentional or not, creators like XQC and Ross are able to get away with these suspensions because they have massive sponsorships and contracts behind them. For these creators, the money they make from subs and donations is only a fraction of what they get paid. So the fact of the matter is, they're getting paid regardless. This isn't the case for streamers with little to no sponsorships. If they get suspended for a week or a month, that's no money coming in, which is devastating for obvious reasons. Now, the XQCs and Aiden Rosses of the world are the exception and not the rule, but it doesn't make the pill any easier to swallow and likely only stokes resentment smaller creators have towards Twitch. And this is where we come back to the root of the problem. Twitch's TOS is just as confusing as it was 3 years ago, and this inconsistency isn't really helping anyone. As Hassan spoke after his infamous Crackergate incident, although there was a slight jump in his viewership after the ban, he'd be a lot happier if Twitch just took a hard stance on what is and isn't allowed.
I don't know what like Twitch's goal is. It's the dumbest fucking drama, but it's like, take a stance, dude. I know this is a complex or complicated situation, a complicated issue, but you didn't have a problem fucking yeeting incel and simp immediately when you came out of the gate swinging, and you were like, we're gonna make sure that people can't be called incel or simp anymore. And it was like, who are you protecting in that situation? That's so silly. You're being ridiculous. And they stopped it. And they never banned anyone for that. And now it's like a similar situation with Cracker is occurring, and they're like trying to fucking figure this shit out. It's like, I want to move on. Okay, I want to move on. It's so stupid. I don't care. It's just make a decision.
And this ultimately begs the question, what is Twitch's goal here? Because having a platform with inconsistent bans, or some that even help certain creators, is clearly not fulfilling its purpose. And while this may have been something that Twitch could get away with in the past when they were the only major player in the scene, there are plenty of other competition that are ready to take the throne now. Back when Ice Poseidon got banned for knowingly giving out information that got a plane swatted, he was basically f***ed since there was nowhere else for him to go. And that's why he begged for Twitch to give him another chance. But Twitch simply can't take advantage of that anymore. And the biggest case we can look at is Dr. Disrespect. Back in June of 2020, Doc was given his infamously mysterious permaban, but when he finally came back, his stream hit over 400,000 viewers, larger than anything he ever had on Twitch. And according to Stream Hatchet, that success continued into 2022. And things are only getting more complicated for Twitch, especially with new streaming sites like Kick and Rumble coming into the mix. Sure, banning Aiden Ross made a lot of sense. The dude was a TOS nightmare. But the fact of the matter is, Ross is going to take his audience wherever he goes. And even if Kick and Rumble don't succeed, Twitch losing out on that viewership is only going to help YouTube in the long run. Yes, YouTube does have similar problems to Twitch, where some creators think the enforcement of their TOS is a little arbitrary at times. But what YouTube does well is to strike the fear of God into people. With their 3-strike policy, you run the risk of having your entire account banned, regardless of who you are. Now, while I'm not saying that streamers are intentionally getting suspended to raise their notoriety, getting banned is simply not the end of the road anymore. And if Google suddenly decides to go full hog into streaming and create a revenue model that's actually attractive to its creators, Twitch is going to have an even bigger problem on their hands.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring the notification bell. For unique bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit us up on our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.